just waiting for people to get here. Give you a few minutes. Actually, I'm gonna go get a drink while we're waiting. Okay. Still waiting. See if anybody joins me. Drink from work. Where can I put it? There's so much stuff around me. Okay. It's been a couple of minutes. People will join me when they join me. So, I've decided to go ahead and do this video live because I tried to do my WIP Parade last night, and I had to do it in a couple of different not takes, but a couple of different videos, and at the end of it, it was over 2 hours long, and which was way too big. Obviously, the program wouldn't let me upload it because it was longer than 15 minutes, and so I would have had to save it to the memory on my phone and then go to YouTube and upload it, but I tried to do that and it was too big of a file. Like, I literally ended up deleting probably about 90% of the stuff on my phone, and it was still too big. So needless to say, I was very frustrated last night. I was very, very ticked off. And so what I decided to do, I was going to just try to do it again today from my roommate's laptop. But, you know, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to save myself all that trouble, and I'm just going to do a live video. And I don't like doing live videos because I seem to not ever get anybody to watch. So, and it tends to kind of, I don't know what's the word, just not disappoint me, but like it tends to kind of get me a little bit down in the dumps that nobody is watching. So I did post this morning that I was going to go live, and then I had to post again a few minutes ago that I was running a little bit late because I had just gotten off work, got home a little after 6, and had to eat first because I was starving. Hadn't had anything to eat since this morning, and so then I was like, I really need to take a shower because I just keep scratching my head because my hair, when my head sweats, it gets itchy. So I had to take a shower first, which is why my hair is still a little bit wet, as you can see. Still a little bit wet. So I had to take a shower before I could do this, which is why I was running a little bit late, and I apologize. So, but at this point, I don't think anybody's watching me anyway, so at this point, it doesn't really matter if I'm late. Sorry. So, I guess I'll just go ahead and get into it for those of you who are going to watch this later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by showing the WIPs that you haven't seen, the WIPs that you didn't just see in my 2019 plans video. And then I will then go back and show those again, just for being complete, so that everything that I've shown, like every single WIP that I have, I've shown in one video. But yeah, I will let you know. I'm in a different room, obviously, as you can tell. Sorry for the clutter behind me. This is technically the craft room, but it's still a mess. There's some floor carpeting that needs to be replaced, so but I felt like it was going to be a little bit quieter for me to do it in here, where I actually had the space to record this in. So when I was filming it last night, the camera was literally like a foot in front of my face, and I kept having to like adjust. So I thought, as long as I had enough room for my totes and a place to set my phone up in here, then I could do it in here. It would be fine, and I might just do my videos in here. We'll see. But sorry, what I was going to say a few minutes ago was I'm going to start off with the WIPs that you didn't see, and then I will let you guys know that that is all of those, and then I will proceed to show you the WIPs that you just saw in my last video. I'm not going to be showing whoever just joined me, hi. I'm not going to be showing the starts, my 12 days of Christmas starts. I'm not going to be showing those because I just started those and I haven't shown those in an update yet. So I don't want to show them here before I show them in an update. So you will see those in my next update. I'm going to wait until I have completely done all 12 of them, and then I will do an update and I will show you all of those as new starts. But this is basically a wrap up for my 2018 WIP Parade. That's all this is. This is a WIP Parade. I will warn you. Like I said a few minutes ago, my video last night that I tried to do was over 2 hours long. And so tonight probably won't be much different because I have a lot of WIPs. So just settle in and just hang on for the ride. I have a lot of different kinds of WIPs. I have some serious ones, I have some fun ones. So I have some big ones, I have some small ones. So I brought this book in with me. This is a book that I was talking about in my 2019 plans video. There's a couple of WIPs in there that came out of this book. So I will need that because I have 3 total that I have on the go right now that came out of that book. The first one is actually one that I forgot last night, but then I had to go and do a little add-on to the end of that video. The first one is going to be Long Dog Samplers, Death by Cross Stitch. This one I have restarted a couple of different times and have not liked any of them. So, there's not much to show, really. I could really only just show the corner of the thing. This is where it sits at now. I'm doing this, I like the colors in here actually coming out pretty good. I'm doing this in all DMC. It is, I don't think what the colors are here. It is 3750 and 154, which is a really dark purple. And then there's a third color that I'm going to be introducing later on, which is a 498, which is a red, dark, deep red color. But that's where it's at now. I like this. I guess I haven't been satisfied with the restarts, is just because the they can't match up to the fabric, because I love this fabric. Hi Brenda. Glad you could join me. This is, don't worry, you haven't missed much. This is my first WIP. This is the Death by Cross Stitch. So, sorry, I was catching Brenda up. This is an MCG. It's a 32 count linen. I think it's an oyster. I think it's oyster color, but it's pretty white. So, and then I have my David Tennant needle minder, just because I needed something to put him on. Okay. I have to try to stay organized as I'm doing this. Excuse me, I have to do something. My big bag of CXC floss. I have my totes here. Just a FYI. Dang it, did I set this backwards like I tried not to do? Hold on. You can see the size of this tote. This is only one tote. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. This is where I keep my needle minders on. So that's there for now. Okay. So these WIPs in this tote are in alphabetical order, because that's just how I have them organized. It helps me because I have a spreadsheet and my WIPs are in alphabetical order on my spreadsheet. So as I do my rotation, as I was doing my rotation, I was going in alphabetical order. So the first one is, I don't know if you would call this a WIP. Technically it's a WIP, technically it's a finish for the one that's on here. Back last year, there was a thing that went around for a while. A lady, I think, had posted in a Facebook group that she liked to stitch up hearts and like leave like a little message on them and leave them in random places for people to find. Just like inspirational, encouraging messages. And so many people jumped on that bandwagon that they wanted to do that. I kind of fell into that I was going to do it, and it never anything happened of it. But I did one heart. That's it. I really did kind of want to pick this up and do it again and do more of them, because you see I have this whole big piece of plastic canvas. But I did one heart, and this is just it's a variegated like craft floss that I just randomly had. I think I won it from a Listia auction or somewhere. I got it somewhere. I don't remember where I got it. But that's all it's on this one. And I still have the plastic canvas. I still kind of want to do more of them, but I just haven't had time. When you have 70 WIPs, there's never enough time to do anything. So that's all that happened with that one. The next one is that's what it's called. It's called 88. I had started this for my cousin who lives in Texas. She's a huge NASCAR Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan. And unfortunately, Dale Earnhardt Jr. retired last year, I think. I had actually started this for her like 2 years ago. And I had started it on 14 count. And I didn't like it. I started it in the corner, doing one color at a time, and I didn't like it. It was starting to get grungy anyway. So I restarted it. I don't remember in case anybody asks, I don't remember where I got this from. It was a blog. Somebody was, selling it on a blog, and I bought it from them. If you need to know, I can probably go back and look. Let me make sure it's not in his pages anywhere. I'm not seeing any kind of shop name. But if you need to know, just let me know, and I will have to look it up, and I will have to get back to you on that, because I don't know. So I did restart it on a 16 count, maybe an 18 count. I don't know. But this is where it's at now. That's it. Just the bottom half of a number 8. One of the number 8s. This is like just a white 18. I think it's an 18 count Ada. I really do. 18 count Ada. And my needle minder says Betty Nugs. And that comes from my favorite movie. One of my favorite movies, actually. Yeah, one of my favorite movies. I don't know, I have so many favorite movies. So that is that one. And FYI, since I'm doing this live, I'm not going to try to hurry like I did last night. The next one is one that comes out of this book. Told you I was going to need this. I don't know why I'm trying to hang on to that. It's a paper that I had tried to make a working copy of half of the pattern. It's not a very good working copy. That is the, we call it Amid Amish Life triptych. This makes the rounds occasionally. And the one I am working on is the middle one there, which is actually the biggest one. This one is a little bit bigger than the other two on the sides. And this is being done on a 16 count, like an ice blue Ada. That's where it sits at right now. As you can see, I just did the man that's standing on the side porch there. I haven't even backstitched him. He needs backstitching, and I'm gonna wait until the end of till I finish everything else before I go back and backstitch. So that's it. Yeah, this is like, it's not white. It's a really light blue. The light in here is probably not gonna be great for showing colors. Then I have a cow needle minder. I think I got that from my minders before they closed. I think that was one of the last things I got from them. And as you can see, it's not going to be very big. This is cut to size with like 3 inches all the way around. So, not very big. And you will see various stages of how my edges are finished. I don't stick to one way. I just do whichever I feel like doing. The next one is going to be the Angel of Grace, I think. Let me double check here. Yes. Angel of Grace by Lavender Lace. I always kind of laugh a little bit on the inside because that rhymes. Don't get too excited. I haven't gotten very far on her. Sorry. That's where she's at now. Just all this is in her dress. This is like her sash, I think, right there. And this is just like one of the trim of her dress, so it comes down a little bit further there. Um, this is a 28 count, no, 32 count, I think. Raw linen. Not the most fun thing to work on, which is probably why I haven't got very far on this. I actually started this 2 years ago. So, I started on this linen because I had it in my stash. And I didn't have a very big stash at the time. So, and then I have like a little small angel needle minder. This is one of those pieces. Well, I guess I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of krennic in there. Like beside this green right here, running up along this green, there's a little bit of krennic in there. Just to kind of give you an example, a taste of the sparkliness that's in here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I started this like 2 years ago, and it was my first lavender and lace. It pretty much still is. My only one, because the other similar one I have is technically a butternut road. But I just made a liar of myself. Sorry, I looked down, saw what the next one was. I just made a liar out of myself. The other lavender and lace I have, yes, the Angel Grace was the first one that I ever started. And I started it back in 2017, I think. Maybe as a birthday start, I don't remember. But I know I started it a couple years ago. The next one, I actually started it last year. Like last year, like 2017. Sorry. Right? I think I'm gonna have to go back and double check, but I guess it doesn't really matter to you guys. I think I started this January 1st of 2018. I think. Don't hold me to that. Because this was quite an undertaking for me. Y'all know what this is. This is the Angel of Love by Lavender and Lace. This is the only other Lavender and Lace pattern that I have going right now. And when I started it on a 16 count. And then I got to beading. And the beads weren't really laying that well. So I bought another piece of fabric. I bought the 28 count linen in the same colorway. So I still have that 16 count Ada in here. I will show you that so you can see, because I was a little bit further along on that one. But then when I restarted it, I didn't get as far. I don't know which way this goes, just to FYI. I might even be holding this up backwards. So, I think it does go this way. I'm going to hold it up this way because I think this is the way it goes. That's how far I got on it the first time around. As you can see, there's some blinginess in there. She has a lot of bling. So that was the first start. I don't know why I still have this. One day I might get around to picking it out. Let me get this folded back up and I will show you the new version of this. So the new version, the restart, just like this. Way like that. Can you see it now? Yeah, you can see it now. This is the 28 count cash out in Cauldron by Picture This Plus. And my Weeping Angel, you don't mind her. So that's all I got. That's all stitching. There's no krennic or anything in that yet. the next one I got as a kit. I think I won it off of Listia. And this is Design Works. It's called Astrology in Design Works, but it's a Joan Elliott pattern. And I think Joan Elliott calls it the astrologer. So just be aware of that. So it is a Joan Elliott design. So you can find it by just Joan Elliott. Don't ask me where. I couldn't tell you where. I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says. I'm sorry. I am doing this with the kit thread. I am doing this with the kit thread, but not on the kit fabric. Because it just came with like a 14 count white Ada. Okay. This is the fabric that it's on. And that's all I got done on her. This is, it's a 16 count Ada in Buttercup by Under the Sea Fabrics. Which, as you can see, is a pretty, really pretty butter colored. And then my, sorry about that, my Pisces fish needle minder. Next one is one that it does mean a lot to me, but for some reason I can't bring myself to work on it. And not because it makes me sad or anything, it makes me a little sad. This is Callie. She's a cat that I had who passed away, what was it, February of 2017. I had her for about 3.5 years. And she was only about 5 years old when she passed away. She came down with lymphoma. And unfortunately for cats, there's nothing that can be done. So, this one's a little bit tight. And so to kind of help me cope a little bit, I guess, I had that picture that I had taken of her back not long after I got her. Had that picture and I converted it using Pick to Pat, the website Pick to Pat, which is free. And I haven't gotten very far on her, like, at all. And I really need to work on her. This is all background, and there's a lot of this in the pattern. So that's it. That is all she wrote. Just background, that's just shrubbery with some sky showing through. Because she was sitting in the window and there were like shrubs in front of the window. I don't know what she was looking at. And then this needle minder is like one of my favorites. It says, "Do not judge my story on the chapter you walked in on." And just a 25 count even weave that I gridded using Silky Sliver. I don't do that very often. Sorry. And this is one of the only project bags I have. It's a Doctor Who project bag. And I'm sorry, I don't remember where I got it from. I wish I did. Next we have another pattern that I charted myself. But this one was using an actual pattern. Not pattern, God. It was charted using an actual program. That's the word I was looking for. A program that I purchased on my computer. So, which I no longer have. At least I no longer have access to that laptop because the battery died and could not recharge it. So if I ever get my computer fixed, maybe I might have access to my program again. And again, I still forgot to bring in a picture. This is a picture of a singer that died back, I think it was September of 2017. He died. It was one of my favorites. It is my all-time favorite group. And, like, they've always been my favorite group ever since they came out. And when he passed away, he took his own life, unfortunately. When he passed away, I was just completely, like, I was devastated. Because there's not going to be any more new music coming out from them. But it was a pattern that I charted, and it's hard to describe the picture. It's like it's gray tones, but it's a picture of him up until about midway, and it's just him, and then there's some background and stuff, and I edited it and added his name and his birth year and death year. And if you're wondering, it's Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. Sorry. It's Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. And I am just stitching this on a 22 count. 1/1, 22 count. Ada Hardinger, whatever you want to call it. There's not much difference between the 22 count Ada and 22 count Hardinger. It's the same thing, I think. But this is all I got done on him. Just some blacks and grays. There's actually some navy blue in there too, but you can't see it. This is all background right here. This row is going to be background. This little bit right here, in case you're wondering why that's out there, I got tired of doing background, so I wanted to go and actually stitch on something of him. So that's the tip of his ear. That's like the top corner of his ear right here. So, it's a decent sized piece. It's going to be a decent sized piece. And there's not a ton of colors in there, but there's enough. And this needle minder right here actually says the same exact thing that my other needle minder said on it, the last one said on it. Don't judge my story by the chapter you walked in on. So that's that one. I need to get back to him too. I have this thing, like, I like the idea of doing full coverages, but once I start them, I tend to not want to go back to them when I should. So, yeah, this is all the threads for Chester. I was going through a phase where I was actually using the floss away bags to kit everything up separately, but since I kind of changed to where I kind of changed from where I was working before. I could stitch at work, and that was the job that I left early after January 31st of 2018 was my last day at that job. And since then, I've really only been able to stitch at home, like where I'm at. So I felt like it was a waste of money to keep kitting everything up separately. I still will keep the things that are kitted up separately. I will still keep the floss with them. But from going forward from now, I'm only going to work my projects out of my floss boxes, because I do have so much floss that I need to actually start making use of them. Next we have a sew to stitch pattern. It's called Coffee Break. And this is being stitched on a white Chelt Jobelin, 28 count lampool Jobelin. See, I have to keep these tags and stuff because I will forget what this fabric is. It's just a nice tan neutral color. That's all I have. I took out so many needles last night when I was doing my video. I'm surprised I left any in. But that's all there is. That's all I have done on that one. Just in that little middle coffee urn thing. So, that's where it's at now. And then my needle minder. It comes from the Everyday Stitcher. It says coffee because adulting. That's me every day. You may start seeing a theme in that I don't seem to get very far on my projects. Like I have too many to work on right now. So I'm not getting very much done on any one project at any given time. The next one is one that I really have not worked on, like, at all since probably 2017. Part of me, like, I still like it, but part of me just doesn't want to work on it. And that is, a lot of you new people may not have seen this one. It's called Christmas Tree Swirl. I know that the name up there is not really good printed. Christmas Tree Swirl. This is a full coverage piece. This is a full coverage design. I'm not stitching that background. I'm literally only stitching the tree. And maybe not even the Merry Christmas. I don't know yet. But I'm only stitching the tree. But don't get your hopes up. I've only done like a little bit. Like in there. That's it. So, having said that. Oh, and this is by, I do know this one. This one is by Sakura Cross Stitch on Etsy. S-A-K-U-R-A. Sakura Cross Stitch. I am stitching this on a somewhat opalescent white even weave. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the sparkle because it's just that subtle. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that like at all. But that's all I got done on it. That's it. And then I put it away, and then I kept thinking about how much I didn't like working on it. So, but I just about UFO'd it. But I think I might eventually pick it back up. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I would like to pick it up eventually. Maybe next year. We'll see. And then I have a sparkly coffee mug. Or you can call it a hot chocolate mug. It's fine. Because if you think of it as a hot chocolate mug, then you're thinking Christmas. Hot chocolate goes with Christmas. Christmas is a good time to drink hot chocolate. So, that's it. You probably haven't even been able to see the sparkle. So, you see all that floss in there? That's what goes with it. Didn't even bother bobbinating it, which I don't usually do that. Okay. We'll put this one in here. Even though I may actually want to pull that cross stitch back out. This next one you just saw recently in my last actual update, which is the Don't Blink by Clouds Factory. This actually is in color, but I just printed out the cover page in black and white. And if you remember me talking about it in my update, you'll know that I had started it on blue, on a blue fabric. But after stitching part of the words that were in blue, you couldn't really see it. So I restarted it on something else, which is currently a 36 count. 36 count in Heroic by Picture This Plus. And yes, you're going to see hanging threads. Because I don't care. That's the start of the word blank. It's one of the word blank. One of the words blank. Because there are a few blank words in there. So, yeah, and see there's no one. And then of course we have the sonic screwdriver. This is a Felty. My coffee one was a Felty as well. And it comes from the Everyday Stitcher. This is actually the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. Did you know that? It's a 10th Doctor quote, but it's an 11th Doctor's screwdriver. Because he was the only one that had the bit that opened up like it did. Nine and 10 pretty much used the same one. And then 12 just, yeah. He just didn't do a sonic screwdriver for a long time. Then finally, I think in his last season, they finally gave him another one. Because I don't think people were digging the sunglasses, so they finally gave him a screwdriver. Next we have, any of y'all that have been sitting here watching me for 42 minutes, you're probably looking for something good. The Egyptian Sampler by Teresa Winsler. And yes, this is the leaflet. I am just doing this on a 32 count cream Belfast from Zweigart. I actually got this from Hobby Lobby. Surprise! Okay. Okay. Sorry. A little bit of excitement there, huh? 32 count cream Belfast. Don't get too excited. I'm not that far along. That's how far along I've gotten on it. Just still working on the border. There's somebody in Stitch Mania that I think she's finished it, or she's close to finishing it, except for maybe back stitching, and she's shown like the close-up photos of it. It's gorgeous. I'm so far from being that close to a finish. So there's that. And then I have the pyramid. I think that's an Eye of Horus. I think that's what they call that. Sorry. Right? No. Where did it go? There it is. Thought I lost my envelope. Okay. I am still trying to keep these in alphabetical order. The next one is a small one. All I have is the pattern, the printed pattern that I'm working off of. It looks like this. That you see that looks like green is not actually green. That's just where I was marking it off. I actually found this on DeviantArt. Is it DeviantArt? Yes, Deviant Art. And it's actually something from Final Fantasy, I believe. I'm not a Final Fantasy player or a fan, but I needed a pattern to go along with a, what was it? It was a Sysmania Olympic Sal that they had year before last. And I needed a pattern, something to do with fire. And I like Phoenix. I like phoenixes. I actually have a tattoo of a phoenix on my back. And figuring out which way is up. This is where it's at now. Like, it wouldn't take a whole lot for me to finish this. There's a lot of, like, a few stitches here, a few stitches there. I'll be able to see that. There we go. That's where it's at. This is done on, it's a 28 count cashel in Brash from Picture This Plus, which is a kind of a greenish, I don't know what you would call it, like a greenish tan color. Yeah, that's about right. I will warn y'all now, if you've never watched my channel before, I like Picture This Plus. I order from them a lot. Now, from a real small WIP into a humongous WIP. The next one was I started it as part of my 1-year Floss Tube anniversary back in August of 2017. Yeah. Have not touched it since then. I want to, but I also want to get a scroll frame or something bigger for me to work on, because there's too much fabric for me to try to work on this in my Q-snap. So I need to get another system. I need to get another plan together before I try to work on this too much. And that is Four Seasons. It's like Four Seasons watercolor if you look it up online. That's what it says. Four Seasons watercolor by Soda Stitch. Gorgeous pattern. I love this. I just love how it looks like painted, like watercolor painting. I'm going to point out where I'm at. See this house right here? I'm in that house. I'm like between those two windows. Just between those two windows right there. Again, not because I don't want to work on this, it's just because I don't have a good system to be able to work on this. As you can see me unfolding this like a freaking blanket. It's not really going to matter if it's upside down or not, because you're not going to be able to tell what anything is. See that little spot of white right there? That's all I've done. That's it. And this humongous piece of fabric that's cut the size that I had to order a full yard of to get big enough. And this is an 18 count Aida. So, if you want to go in closer, that's it. That's all I did when I worked on it. I have a wooden T heart that I got from the Everyday Stitcher. This is an like I said, it's an 18 count Aida. It is called Whimsical Winter by Under the Sea Fabrics. And I'm sure the linens look gorgeous, but I have it on Aida. You're not really going to be able to see much. You can tell that there's like beigey, like gray spots in there. It's meant to do that. It's meant to look like blue sky with patches of cloudiness, maybe, or patches of dreariness. It is variegated. It probably looks more variegated. What in the heck was I doing? Hold on. while I figure out how I folded this. I don't know. I keep just folding it like any old way, and it keeps not being right. Sorry. It has to be able to fit in the envelope. I really do want to get back to that soon, but it's probably not going to be until 2020. So, don't nobody hold your breath. Next, I'm about to fall off this chair. Oh, I'm sorry. Next we have, it's just called Fractor, which is a gorgeous pattern. And believe it or not, it's actually out of a very old magazine. This is out of the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. This is what the cover looks like. Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It's the January-February 1991. So, again. Yeah. Did I drop the pause or not? Oh, yeah. Every time I pull this out, floss comes with it. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Belfast linen in Rosalind from Under the Sea Fabrics. I was a part of her Fabric of the Month club for a couple of years. I'm holding this up right, which I am not. Ooh, that would have been fun. That would have been fun. So this is where it's at now. Try to pull this stuff out so you don't get the freaking crease in there. That's where it's at now. The plant in the middle, working on the base underneath, and then these two bits on the side, that's where the birds are. The start of the birds. And I just have a kind of a fractal flower type needle minder. And I believe that came from No Name Needle Minders. But yeah, this is it. I was watching Garrett's video, Coffee Stitcher, the other day. And he was stitching a piece on Rosalind as well. And he said it's not as purple as it looks. It's kind of burgundy. But mine is purple. Mine is just purple. And I love it because purple is my favorite color. This is one of my favorite fabrics of all time. It's like, see, you can use old patterns and breathe new life into them. Because just because something comes out of an old magazine doesn't mean you can't make it look like a new pattern, like something that's fresh and current. The next one we have, if I can find out where to open it at. Next one was another kit that I think I won off of Listia a long time ago. This is the Teresa Wensler Fruit Bell Pull. I'm using the fabric that came with it and the floss that came with it. And I am actually within this block right here. I haven't done a lot of it. Just the outline and then some of the greenery. Those are apples, I think. They're supposed to be apples. Like yellow greenish apples. it's an even weave. It's a 28 count even weave that this comes with. But unfortunately, that's all I have. That's all I have. Show you a little bit closer. Yeah. When I got this, the person had actually already started like one of these lines down here. Sorry. The person had actually started one of these lines down here, and their stitching direction was different than mine. And it didn't look that good to me. So I just completely frogged it out and redid it in my stitching. So it all matches up. Because I would have been so bothered to have that one line in opposite directions. That would have bothered me. So that's it. And then I have like a little fall leaf needle minder. I tried to mark to match up a needle minder to a project in some form or another. But it doesn't always happen exactly like exact needle minders, because I buy needle minders that I like. I don't buy needle minders based on what patterns I think I can put them with. And I'm very picky about stuff that I buy. Next we have a project that I don't know if many people who follow me now have seen. I did this for my mom back a couple years ago, and then I had the bright idea that I wanted to do one for myself. This is not a picture, this is just the pattern. It's His Name is Jesus, which is a free design. I don't remember the name of the website. It's a free design though. You can buy it. You just have to sign up using your email, join your mailing list, and you can get it for free. I felt like it was right there. I don't know. It'll probably come to me after I quit filming. This is where it's at. But the first but is that I've had so much trouble figuring out a third color. I've got the two colors, it's fine, but I've had so much trouble figuring out a third color, which this one happens to be a Karen Water Lilies. What is it? Karen Water Lilies. What is this? Trying to look for the color. I don't think I'm going to be able to see it. Iris. This is a Karen Water Lilies in Iris. There's Karen Water Lilies. Yeah. I have a second color. It's like a teal blue. Because that's my favorite color combination is purple and teal blue. I cannot for the life of me figure out a third color. But then also, this pattern somewhere along the way, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. There is pink highlighter on there. Like, right there. See it? You can see it now. So, I don't know if the stitching is going to cover that or not. I'm going to have to count, like, if I decide to work on this again, I'm going to have to count up to that area and see if there's stitching in that spot. And if there's not, then I'm going to have to restart this. So yeah. And then I just have a hydrangea needle minder from No Name Needle Minders. So we'll see. I still have that one as a WIP. It's temporarily UFO'd, but it will come back out. I'm not giving up on it yet. Where was that? Next is one that you just recently saw. Like, these next few ones are probably you recently saw them. Can I have a shout out? Can I have a shout out? It would make my day. Sure. Sorry. Dang it. Crap. I think your name was Kay. I'm sorry the message kind of went away. And I think it's like the first time I've done live. Hi Ice Swallows Tea Man. I don't want to say that. I just realized something. I'm sorry. But the person wanting a shout out, I think your name was Kay. And I apologize. So, hi. These next several WIPs, I think you've probably all seen them at some point in the last couple of months. Thanks, I'll leave a like for your troubles. Okay. But it is Kitty Litter by Dimensions. The Dimensions Gold Kit. Let's see if you can see that. Without glare, possibly, maybe. Yeah. Kitty Litter. And I'm just using the included Nostalgic Needlework. Hi! I follow your channel, by the way. I used to be from Georgia. I'm in South Carolina now. I kind of moved back home. I'm just using the included kit fabric and floss. And I think this is some kind of off-white. I know it's 18 count Ada. It's like an off-white color, or off like a cream color. That's how far I've gotten. You're welcome. Sorry. Sorry, I was slowing down for a second there. So yeah, that's it. And I have my Black Cat needle minder. Also from No Name Needle Minders. I'd love to be able to get a Black Cat when I can get my own place again, and I can get my cat from my sister. Which, by the way, I'm really like stressing to do that because since he's been with her, he's put on a lot of weight. Like, she's one of the people that leaves food out for him. Like, they had another cat, and I don't think they get along too well, the two cats. Like, her cat, like, he'll just kind of leave him alone. Oh, goodness. Sorry, low battery. I think her cat just kind of leaves him alone, because kind of hides and stays off in the other room. But she leaves food out at all times, and my cat has gained probably at least 10 pounds. At least. And I'm not crazy about that. I need to hurry up and probably get a job that pays a lot better than the one I have now. And get my own place so I can get my cat back. And then maybe I might check into getting another cat. Possibly a black cat. So, the next one, moving right along, I probably need to speed this up a little bit. The next one is another one that many of y'all may not have seen, because I haven't really pulled it out too recently. I will show you a picture. It's going to be really hard to see though. This is my Lost Boys pattern. I bought this a couple of years ago, and special requested it for her to chart it for 16 count Ada to end up being this. The final size is going to be 24. Well, I wanted her to chart it to be poster size, which is 24 by 36. And she said the closest she could come was 24 by 35, which is fine. That's fine. So this one is like the BAP of all BAPs. I'm not even going to completely unroot this because this is a huge piece of fabric. That's how far I've gotten on it. That's it. And if you can't tell, it's like a sagey color fabric. I think it's called Beach Walk. It's like a white chelt, I think. That's it. I do need to pick this up more often. But the thing with my BAPs is I don't want to pick them up just for the sake of stitching on them for a couple of hours. If I'm going to put a fabric this size on my Q-snap, I'm going to have it out for a while. I'm going to pull it out at least if I have a full day to work on it. At least. And it'll probably still stay on my Q-snap for at least a week or two afterward, even if I don't get to work on them again. I like to give it a chance. That's why a lot of these BAPs don't come out very often. So, that's it. That's like the side of Michael's head. And then I have my David Lost Boys, David the Vampire needleminder. I think I got that from Minding My Minders. These little envelopes like this, the little mesh envelopes, they can hold quite a bit. I like these. I think this is like 11 by 13 or 10 by 13. So they can hold quite a bit. My entire floss box is in there. So yeah. Just letting y'all know. I'm gonna have to flip this thing around because I'm getting toward the back end of it. Okay. Next we have Mirabilia, Miss Cherry Blossom. And I just actually recently started this back in 2018. I have to say back in 2018 like it was last year because technically it is last year. I had started doing this on a linen that I had dyed myself. It was an MCG Textiles linen. Loved the color. Loved the color. But the linen itself, I hated working on it. So, I restarted. And this is where she's at now. Oops. I hope I show it to you right side up. That's where she's at now. This is, it's a Picture This Plus Pampas. P-A-M-P-A-S. Picture This Plus Pampas in 16 count. So, and then I have like a little pretty little artsy lady needleminder. It's another one from No Name Needleminders. Next one we have is one that I haven't really worked on that much. This is called Police Box, but it's a TARDIS, and it's full coverage, if you can't tell. That is by, if I can find the designer here. I was hoping I could find a designer, but I don't think it's going to be on here. I'll have to look later, and if anybody wants to know, just let me know, and I will find it. I think I got it off of Etsy, if that helps. Just type in the Police Box cross stitch on Etsy, and then you'll find it. It'll come up. I started this on, it's a dark gray Ada. I think it's 18 count. Yeah, I think it's 18 count. It's a dark gray, chalkboard colored Ada. But I'm not really crazy about the stitching on it. That's all I got done on it so far. That's it. Not a whole lot. I don't like how my Q-snap has left white marks on it. No. So I may end up restarting this. My little David Tennant 10th Doctor reminder. Next we have another one that I started kind of recently. Well, back in 2018. Princess Mermaids by Soda Stitch. And where I'm at is actually in this lady right here. With her skin in her face and arms, and then within her purple hair there. And this is being done on a 28 count opal Lugana in Caribbean Tides by Under the Sea Fabrics. Gorgeous color. Gorgeous. Gorgeous color. See that? It's gorgeous. Like, I really wish y'all could see the sparkly on here. Like, I can't tell if you can see the sparkly. It's so pretty. That's how far out she is right now. And then my gorgeous clay mermaid needle minder. That reminds me of Ariel, so it had to go on a mermaid pattern. I actually got that from the Everyday Stitcher. But she works with another lady that does the clay, so, or she did. I don't know if she's still doing it. So, yeah, that's all I can say about that one. That is a fun piece. Soda Stitch patterns are generally pretty fun to work on. They're easy. But it just depends on how much time I have to get around to it. This next one is actually a WIP that I haven't actually worked on since I started it. It is the Quick Stitch Rise and Shine. It's by Jennifer Nilsson, but it's charted by Hayde. I'm just doing this on I believe it's a 22 count Ada or hard hanger. Another one that I gridded with Silky Sliver. That is all of the progress that I've done on it. Just one corner of one of the sun rays. That's it. And then my rainbow poop needle minder. We can call it rainbow ice cream if you want to. I choose to think of it as rainbow poop. That's it. It's not a huge pattern. It's kind of small. I'm trying to at least get through this box, and then I might have to go and get my charger and plug my phone up while you're still alive. It's either that or start it and do a separate one. I'd like to do all these in one. I'd like to do all these in one video. Where am I at? Okay. The thing about doing them backwards, I can't tell what's in what order. Then we have another big one that I haven't gotten too terribly far in. Which is Save the Stitches. We all know what Save the Stitches looks like. I have actually had all the multiple PDFs printed out and bound into a binder book thing. I think I had it done at Staples. Cost me about $40 to have all this printed out. But it saves me from having to use my own paper and my own printer and my own ink. Sorry, I lost my place. This is being done on a 25 count even weave over 2. It is Stormy Skies. Stormy Clouds. I think it's Stormy Clouds by Zweigart. That's all I have done. I think this is actually the end. Like once I do this border right here, this will be it for the top for the width. I just have a long way to go on the length. So, I'm trying to show you a little bit how I've done. Instead of doing the gold and silver that it calls for, I've actually switched the metallics out for teal, light purple, and dark purple. So, and then I chose this border that's posted. There's a pages or some pages at the end, or one of the PDF files, that gives some suggested borders, and these are borders that you can use on other stuff too, but she just gives you some border options to do, and I just chose this border, which is little. So that's where I'm at on that one. Just like a mottled gray color, and I have my, I have my Carolina Panthers needle minder. I think I can't remember where I got that from. I don't want to say it was Gina's Unique Boutique. I think it was somewhere else. I don't remember. But I don't think it was either of the ones that I normally buy from. I'm gonna have to go get my charger so that I can charge my phone up. You guys sit tight. I will be back in a couple of minutes, and you may see the phone moving around a bit, just in case. I'll be right back. I am back. Just have to get the phone plugged up. Okay. Are you still with me? Okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry all the noise you heard in the background. There's a lot of stuff in this room and I had to work my way around it. So, where was I at? Oh yeah. I had just shown you, I lost my train of thought. I had just shown you Save the Stitches. So let's resume. Next we have a design which I really like. It's one of my favorites. It is the Smith Sampler by the Scarlet House. Really pretty. And this is being done, I think it's called Bramble by Picture This Plus. I know it's Picture This Plus. I know it's 40 count. And like I said, I think it's called Bramble. If I'm thinking of the right colorway, it's this. Sorry, I'll show you the whole thing. It's kind of a grayish, tannish color, a lightly mottled neutral. That's where it's at now. I am doing this in the called for silks. And then just kind of a sampler-esque needle minder from the Everyday Stitcher. I do love this though. This was a start this year, I think. One of my starts for one of the months this year. Because I was doing the 40 starts in 2018. Because I turned 40 in 2018. I will never do that again. Just to FYI. Because it more than doubled my WIP count. Like, more than doubled. The next one is... I'm just trying to find the cover photo for it. This is the one that I was trying to show you in my last update that I forgot the book for. This is the Spanish Sampler. And it is also in that 101 Best Love Designs book. I did just work on this recently. So, this is where it sits at now. Not a whole lot done. Most of this, believe it or not, most of this is satin stitch. This is just satin stitch and back stitch. And that's it. Well, I mean, the border so far is in cross stitch. But that's where I'm at so far. And this is a 28 count Jobelin in Queen Anne's lace. They're very lightly modeled. It's like a sagey green mixed with an off-white. Then I have another fractal flower needle minder. Which I believe also came from No Name Needle Minders. I love the drapiness of Jobelin. I really do. I just can't help it. Like a real Jobelin. The next one I started this year as another one of my monthly starts. Have you done a flip through of the 101 Best Love Designs? Yes, I think I have. It may have been a while back. Check. I'm trying to think. Check 2017. Check my videos from 2017. I have done it. At least I'm pretty sure I've done one. If you can't find one, I will go back and look through my videos when I get done with this, or tomorrow, because by the time I get done with this, it's probably gonna be late. I will look through them myself sometime, and if I haven't done one, then I'll go back and do one. But I'm pretty sure I've done one. The only one I haven't done a flip through is of the 2001 designs that I just recently got. But there are so many gorgeous patterns in there. This is what's on the cover, just to give you an idea. This is what's on the cover, and there are so many more patterns in here. That's it. Like this, there's this Santa one, that Santa one. I think that's next on my list for when I finish at least one. I'm gonna finish at least one that I have going right now before I start him. That one. And there's quite a few other designs in here that have seen some popularity on FlossTube. Trying to think which one it was I was thinking of. There's one in here that I know I've seen on FlossTube. It was a sampler. Hold on. I know those Amid Amish Life, that's in here. All three designs are in here. I know that's been popular. There was one. And I can't think of for the life of me which one it was. They have them in sections, so I'm looking through the section covers. There's some heart hanger in here too, by the way. Oh, this one is another one. This one is the Woodland Santa. He is gorgeous. He is absolutely gorgeous. That's another one of my favorite ones. Sorry, I just had to show him. Which one was it? There was one in here. I think it's that sunflower sampler. That's all Christmas stuff. The Rose Garden sampler. That's the one I'm thinking of. I've seen somebody else on FlossTube do this one. But that's in here too. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I've done a flip through of it. If I go back and look and I haven't, I'll do a flip through of it. But anyway, sorry, rabbit trail. I try to help people too much, I guess. But this one is Spring House by Brooks Books. Sorry. Spring House by Brooks Books. This is a freebie that you can actually get on Craftsy. At least I think it's still free. There's actually 4 of these, including this one. You're welcome, Brenda. But this is the Spring House. I had intended to start it on a piece of Ada that I painted, and I did a tutorial for. But by the time I get ready to start this, that I needed to start it, I still had not ironed that Ada, which I needed to do before I could start anything on it. And this is just on some kind of blue, minty, pale blue Ada that I got from a swap. And if you can't see it, that's all I got done was a yellow line. That's it. Yeah, that's all I got done. I got a few minutes on it, and that's all I got done. And then I have a Mama from Mama's Family. I love that show. At least I did when it was on, or when I was watching it in reruns. I haven't seen it in a long time. Next is a design from the February 2017 Just Cross Stitch. It's one of two designs that I'm currently stitching out of this issue. And the first time I tried to do this video yesterday, I actually mistakenly thought it was the other design that I was about to show, but it wasn't. This is called Stars. And it's literally just all black work. That's it. All black work. Since I couldn't go out and buy a navy piece of Ada, I was trying to make do with a piece that I had, which I didn't realize until too late, until after I tried to dye it a couple of times. It was actually polyester. It's actually polyester, 100% polyester. So I had to go out and buy a special dye for it. And it still didn't get as dark as I wanted it, but it's close enough. And this fabric is cut to size, so I didn't want to just not use it. So this is where it's at. That's where I got done on it. Little one side of a piece of the center. And then just a little red star needle minder. That's it. What drives me crazy about this fabric is that there's these white splotches, which would be fine if it was a little bit more mottled, but it's not. It's just mostly solid blue with these white splotches. You're not going to be able to tell because of the wrinkling. Yeah. It just bugs me. Sorry. Getting toward the end, I only have a couple more left in this tote. Next we have another one that I started recently, like a couple of months ago, which is the Watery Tart sampler. Not sampler, it's just called Watery Tart. Sorry, Watery Tart. This is designed by a lady named Dinah Jansen, and I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what her Etsy shop is. I don't remember what her Etsy shop is. Sorry, but it's called Watery Tart. And it is a pattern designed around a piece, a scene. Well, a piece of dialogue from the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which is another one of my favorite movies. This is just a 16 count Ada that I dyed myself a while back. It's barely big enough, actually. As you can see, this is actually the edge. I started, well, not in the center. I did start in the center. Did some of the words and worked my way over to the side. That's the far side over there. But this is it. That's all I've gotten done on it. There's a whole big thing right here, and the mermaid is like right here. So, and then I have my Grumpy Cat needle minder from the Everyday Stitcher. Are you starting to notice a theme here? Did I buy a lot from the Everyday Stitcher? Wow, 95 minutes. I told y'all this was going to be a long one. And probably most of all because I talk too much. See, I forget exactly what I just showed you. So I have to go back and look at them. The next one we have is one that I literally just worked on recently. Just started it actually in November. I started in November. And that is the White Pumpkins sampler from Dames of the Needle. I'm not doing that quote at the top, and I'm not doing the border, just the urn thing with the pumpkins on top of it and around it. I'm doing that, just not the quote or the border. And I am stitching this on a 14 count. Yes, I'm holding this in a little bit because I didn't quite start it in the middle on purpose. 14 count Radioactive by Fabrics by LJ. Make sure I'm holding this up right. Nope, I'm not. Radioactive, Fabrics by LJ. And then I have a Sparkly Crow needle minder. This calls everything that is called for in this design is either Weeks Dye Works or Gast. I didn't want to use Fancy Floss for it necessarily. So I used various conversion charts online, with the exception of this black looking color right here. It's charted for I think it's a General Arts. It's one of those, but I know it's called wrought iron. Is the name of the color that's called for. And from what I can gather is wrought iron is black with a really dark navy blue variation. So the only color that's going to work for conversion wise is going to be like if you did a blended needle for 310 and 939. I didn't want to use just 310, and I wasn't crazy about the idea of using a blended needle either, and I didn't want to just use 939. So I went into my stash and I found a color called Black Coffee that I had actually used for an ink circles that I finished last year. Actually, no, I finished it in January of this year. So it's the same blackish color that I use. It has like a brownish tint to it, so it's not super dark. Let's see that. Ooh, it's blowing it up. Anyway, so it's a really it is a blackish color, but not super dark black. So it's not like harsh. You know what I mean? Then we have the Cricut collection is called Why Is It? I like this pattern. I love this pattern because it basically speaks to all of us who have trouble finishing things. We like to start and not finish. The quote says, "Why is it when I'm halfway through, creative joys diminish? It's more fun to start a piece than it ever is to finish." And what got me when I saw this at my LNS, that bottom piece of flower border right there, it looks like they left it unfinished because they have a piece of thread hanging out with a needle sticking in the fabric. It looks like they were still stitching it, like they just left it unfinished, which I think is so super cute and fun. Now, I don't know about the whole needle in the thread in the fabric thing, because you don't want it to rust into the fabric. So I'm either going to have to maybe stitch a needle in there somewhere or something. I don't know. Or I might just leave the thread hanging without leaving the needle in there. I don't know yet. I will talk to my LNS whenever I get to that point, but I am still a long way from that point. I am like the longest way from that point. Longest way from that point. That's it. Just a Y and S. That's it. And this fabric is actually a 32 count Lagana in Kione from Under the Sea Fabrics. Nice, pretty modeled. Like a periwinkle, bluish purple color and white modeling. And then I have my sparkly leaf needle minder. I want to get back to this. I really do want to work on this. I just have so many other things that I need to work on first. You know how it is. And then the last one in this tote. Last one in this tote, but don't worry, I ain't nowhere near close to being done. I'm just going to show this. It's called Winchester. And I think this is actually by Fiddlesticks AU on Etsy. I started this for someone else who had broken up with. So, I do still kind of like the design. This one is just in a temporary UFO status right now. That's all I got done on it. It's just a part of the gray where it says saving people, hunting things. This is just on a 28 count MCG even weave. I wasn't digging the coverage of 2/2, so this is 4/2, and I don't like stitching 4/2. It's bulky and thick, so if I get around to redoing this, I don't know, I may keep stitching on it, I may not. I haven't figured that out yet. When I get to it, I'll get to it. And then I have a Dean Winchester needle minder. And that was another Minding My Minders purchase. So, that one is going to stay in the timeout for now until I figure out what to do with it. So that's all that's in this bin. That's all the WIPs that you haven't seen, like as far as any 2019 plans. To anybody watching, let me get my lid. Hold on. To anybody watching, my next bin, my other bin that I'm about to show my WIPs out of, it's a bin that I've already used, that I've already showed my WIPs in, and these are all WIPs that I plan to stitch on in 2019, whether they be for Year of WIPs or stitching on them in Mania or just randomly. I am going to focus on these WIPs though. There may not be a lot that comes out of this particular bin, so sorry. So yeah, there may not be a lot that comes out of this very, very large bin that I just showed you. Most of my WIP progress will probably be on this next bin. Good. I gotta put my stuff back in here. So I'm gonna leave this out. What y'all think? Should I do a needle minder show and tell too? Let me know. I'll leave it out for now. But if you want me to do a needle minder show and tell, I will. I don't know if this is going to work. What I could do. Sorry, you're gonna check. Throw in something else. I told y'all there's a crap ton of stuff in here. Sorry, let's try this again. Okay, I'm so sorry, y'all. This is the hazards of doing things live. Y'all still with me? Yep. 2 hours for sure. Because we're so far at like an hour and 48 minutes. So, like I said, everything that I'm about to show, if y'all want to tune out now, that's fine. Thanks. If y'all want to tune out now, I totally understand. I just showed all this stuff in my 2019 plans. But for the sake of completeness, I'm just going to go ahead and show them again. Just so I can show you that this is, yes, these are still WIPs. So, these may or may not be in alphabetical order. This first part I'm going to show is what I'm going to be using for a year of WIPs. So, there's a few, not many. So these don't necessarily have to be in alphabetical order. The first one is the Joan Elliott Chinese Phoenix. This is my working copy because I have the Joan Elliott, it's like the fantasy book. I forget what it's called. But it has the, it has that beautiful dragon with the crescent moon behind it. And then it has like Mother Moon and Father, sorry. Is it Mother Moon and Father Sun? Something like that. And then it has this Chinese Phoenix in it. And this is where it's at now. Yeah, that's it. I had started kind of working my way on the back stitch, just so I didn't have to go back and do all the back stitch. So, and this is just on some kind of white 28 count even weave, I think. I think it's an even weave. It looks like an even weave. like a white 28 count even weave that I found somewhere. I don't even know what kind of even weave it is. That's it. And then I have a cute little sparkly panda needle minder from, guess where? The Everyday Stitcher. I like working on this piece, I really do, but I have to force myself to work on it. But once I'm working on it, then I don't mind. It's just a lot of color changes. Like any Joan Elliott, there's a lot of color changes. Dang it. Next, in the project bag, just like my big one, I got them at the same time. I think I won them or something. I don't even remember, and that's bad. This is Plum Street Antiques Ambar Candelabra sampler. The quote says, "Hark from the tomb a doleful sound, my ear attend the cry. Ye living men, come view the around." Sorry, no. "Ye living men, come view the ground, where you must shortly lie. Princes, this clay must be your bed, in spite of all your towers. The tall, the wise, the reverend head must lie as low as ours." This is a poem about death. Basically saying that no matter how rich you are, how high up in the totem pole you are, rich or poor, popular, not popular, whatever, you're gonna die the same way everybody else does. You know, you rich people, you're still gonna die the same way everybody else does, and you're still gonna be in the ground just like the poor people. So, but it's just a beautiful way of saying it, you know, that basically we all end up in the same, we all still end up in the same place, no matter what. So, and this actually, if you look at the model stitch, I don't know if this is the called for fabric. It calls for Vintage Exemplar, by Vintage Exemplar. Oh, by Lakeside Linens, duh. It has kind of a pink tone to it. But I happen to have a fabric that was similar, but a different kind. This is just a solo dye from, what is it? Solo dye from, what is it? God. I had it and then I lost it. It's, I don't know. It's a whatever solo dye. That's what it says. But that's where it's at so far. I hope I turn it the right way. That's where it's at so far. And I hate that there's a freaking line going through this line. So that's where that one stands. Silk Weavers, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking it said it was a solo dye from Silk Weavers. Very pretty pink color. Pink and white mottled. Or pink and tan mottled, sorry. Something like that. And then, because it talks about death, I put my Demon Dean needle minder on there. I'm trying to do something about this here. I'm trying to fold this up so that I can get that crease out of the very center of it. And yes, I am doing this in the called for fancy floss. I did say this was a 36 count, right? The next one is going to be one that was popular right after it first came out. I think it came out at market back in 2017, and it was popular for a long time. And everybody and their mother was doing it, which is the Hot String Samplery Coffee Quaker. I'm trying to get it, there we go. I am doing it in the call for threads. Except for one, I think I didn't have, or I couldn't find it or something. I don't remember. For the most part, I'm doing it in call for threads. And this was the first time I had done anything on 40 count. And I'm still working on it. This is where it sits at now. This is Lakeside Linens and Bisque. 40 count, Newcastle. So that's where it sits at. And then I have, my blood type is coffee. Believe it or not, I didn't get into drinking coffee till maybe about till I was an adult, till I was in my 30s. I didn't start drinking coffee till I was in my 30s. So, but yeah, I have to have it now. As a 40-year-old, I have to have my coffee. And I do try to stick to drinking decaf as much as possible, which I usually do drink decaf in the mornings. But if I'm already tired and I know that I have, like if I have to work a double at work or something, then I'll drink caffeinated. And it does not, it's not kind to my body, let's put it that way. The caffeinated kind is not kind to my body. Next we have Bobby G Designs, Overlooked. This is one that I actually did work on recently, about a month or so ago. And it says, if everything seems to be going well, you have obviously overlooked something. I saw this in somebody else's floss tube, and I had to pause right then and go get it. And this is just being stitched on a, I think it's a 32 count. It's a 32 count something or other that I got in a stitchy box. And it's a gorgeous purple color. I love this. That's where it sits at now. For the most part, I am stitching this in the DMC that it calls for. But I think there's one or two of the colors, which there's only like 4 colors in here. Yeah, there's only 4 colors, but I think 1 or 2 of the colors I switched it for like the next color up or something like that. Something very similar, but a little bit lighter maybe. And then there's just a really small, teeny tiny butterfly needle minder. And I think that might have been a freebie that I got, wasn't ordered from somewhere. I don't remember, I'm sorry. And I could have you know what? I was just about to say something and I take it back because I did do that thing. I could very easily finish this off in your whips. But I was about to say that I didn't put it in your whips. But guess what? I'm showing you my year of whips right now. So, next is probably my biggest one that I have in year of whips. Which y'all are not thinking about year of whips right now. I'm going to show you the pattern first. This is the Crabby All Year series from Raise the Roof Designs. This is 3 patterns that I have yet to complete. The April through June, right? April through June, which is what I'm currently on right now. Currently on the April one. And then July through September. and then October through December. And just to show you what I've already completed, January through March. And this is being done on a 32 count. Yes, 32 count Belfast in Ale by Picture This Plus. That's where that sits at now. That's all the stitching. In those particular blocks, there are buttons in each one. There are a few buttons in each one. And I'm just going to wait until the end to put those on. I wanted to, after changing the January one, because of something that happened, I kind of wanted to do something customized in each block, but it just didn't occur to me. Like, I just couldn't figure out what to do. But the January one, it's charted for the car to be read. But the day that I brought this out to stitch the car and the snow and all that, the day that I brought this out to stitch that part of it, it actually snowed. And my car is blue, and it's actually about that color blue. So I switched it out and made the car blue. So it's actually supposed to be that same red that the shovel is, but I made the car blue to kind of mimic the color of my car. To mimic my car in the snow that actually happened when I stitched that block. That's what I'm trying to say. The next one is another pattern out of this book. Told you I had a few. But it is in another section. Where is it? I think it's further back, actually. I think. Yes. The next one is Dutch Sampler. I've done a lot down here, but I am working on this alphabet. It's actually a half alphabet, but that whole alphabet is in Algerian eyelets. And my dumb self decided to stitch this on 16 count Aida. Algerian eyelets on Aida. Not the most fun thing in the world. I know, right? You would think they would be, but they're not. So, this is where I'm at. This is a fabric that smells so good. Lucas, if I ever order from you again, which I will eventually when I get the money, I want dryer sheets in my fabric. It still smells so good, and it hasn't had a dryer sheet on it in a very long time, and it still smells like his dryer sheet. But that's where it sits at now. And this is called Antique. Obviously, like I just said, it's by Fabrics by LJ. 16 count Aida. And then I have the Q needle minder. Another one from the Everyday Stitcher. But going to these alphabets, Algerian eyelets. It's kind of like they're tedious and boring at the same time. Because I know the pattern that I need to stitch them in. Like, once I get going, it's like stitch, 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 next, stitch, 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 stitch. It's like, it's tedious, but it's boring at the same time. And I have to split the threads to get those in-between lines. So once I get that row of Algerian alphabets done, then I think the ones above it are just in backstitch and cross stitch. So it shouldn't be that hard. But like the alphabets are basically what I don't want to work on. So I'm going to have to kind of push myself forward on those. Next we have a girl playing harp. This was another pattern that I got for the Olympic SAL in 2016. Was it 2016 or 2017? Actually, I think it was 2016. The Olympic SAL in 2016, it was another one that I needed a free pattern to be able to start something on a certain day. And I think the thing that day was something to do with music. So I found her. She is a free pattern. The designer's name is Anne Logan. Found on cross-stitch-pattern.net. Legitimate freebies, y'all. That's a good resource if you just need a little something. Maybe for a gift, or like I did, to find a pattern to start us out. As you can see, this Ada is very stiff. And it's actually softened up a little bit since I started it. This is where she sits at now. I actually did work on this recently, like a couple of months ago, within my rotation. I did pull it out and dedicate some time to it, which is the only reason she has as much done as she does. But this is it. This is all she wrote. And you can kind of see where she's sitting down, where her dress is, where she's sitting down. And this bit up here is like the top of the harp. Yeah. Just a wide 18 count Ada. Probably one of those that came from the pack from the craft store that are stiff as a board when you get them. And don't judge, but I have my Joey McIntyre needleminder on there. I just needed something to put him on. I don't know why. I just decided to put him on there for some reason. Next design is one that I'm doing for my mom. Sorry. I apologize for all this noise that y'all are hearing. So much stuff in this room. It's called Heaven in a Wildflower by Rosewood Manor. The quote, if you can't read it, it says, "To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour." And this quote is by William Blake. There's that. And I'm doing this on a beigeish linen. I don't know what the color is, but it's very thin linen. It is 32 count, I think. I believe so. I believe this is a 32 count. I'm going to have to hold this like in front of my thing because you're going to be able to see right through it. That's where it sits at right now. Just most of the quote, I did get a lot of the quote done, but I didn't want to just do all the quote and then do the design around it. So I made myself stitch some of the flowers around on the top there. So that's where it sits at right now. Hopefully this will be a finish this year in 2019. And just have a little one button thimble needleminder. Even though I did just start this last year, I think, I do want to finish this for my mom. You know what? I think I actually did start it this year. But it's for my mom, so I would like to finish it. You know, she's getting up there in age. She's in like her late 60s. So I don't want to take forever to stitch something for her. Next, we have Dimensions kit. It's called In the Moment. Live Life in the Moment. And I actually did buy this from 123 Stitch because I really liked it. I loved the sentiment because it basically mimics, it basically defines how I live from day to day to day. I don't stress too much about any one thing. I just get through one day at a time. This is where it sits at right now. This is just being done on the included kit fabric, which I believe is 14 count. Like 14 count tan Aida with the kit floss, and then I have my Breakfast Club needle minder. This is one of those pieces that when I finally do finish it, I am going to go ahead and make sure I frame this up or finish this up somehow. Next we have one that I literally just worked on, and you literally just saw it in my last WIP Parade, which is the Brooks Books A Spirit of Joy. She is so close to being done. Like this, all the stitching on this is done. There's just more beads to put on there. I have a few beads already, like around her neck, and there's some in her hair here. There's just some more beads, like in her sari, and like within her dress down here too. There's a lot more beads there. And I just need to finish the garland at the bottom. This garland that goes between her hands. Beading. So not much left to do on her. I just need to buckle down and do it. And I'm assuming Year of Whips is going to motivate me to do that. But that's one of those projects, is just because I finish doing everything doesn't mean I will finish like FFO it, which I probably should. I should probably at least put it together. Next we have one of my favorite whips that I haven't worked on in a while, which is the Ariel. I call it stained glass Ariel. But I believe on Etsy, I think it's Magic X Stitching or Magic Stitching, something like that on Etsy. It's just called Ariel, but I call it stained glass Ariel. And I'm doing this on, it's a yellow piece of Aida. This is where she sits at right now. Can't you see how fun this is? I love this. It's like, it's so bright and colorful. But this was a Fabrics by LJ fabric. I think it's Sunshine or something. I don't remember. But you know, most of his fabrics are like one-offs anyway. Or they used to be. So. And then I have a blingy Ariel needle minder there. So. So next we have the first of two similar patterns that I would like to finish both of them. And that is the 12th Doctor. And this is by Lolita Made on Etsy. You see, I also have a thing for buying patterns on Etsy. This one is on, it's a 28 count even weave, 28 count Lugana in Beach Walk by Under the Sea Fabrics. About 8th, if I'm being honest. Sorry, this one's about to fall. It's in Beach Walk by Under the Sea Fabrics. There's a story. This one and the other one, there's a story of why I picked the colors that I did. The fabric, was very reminiscent of, it kind of looked similar to, like those scenes later on in Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor, where he was on Gallifrey, and it was very desert-ish. Very hot, very dry, very desert-ish. It kind of reminded me of that. And then the color that I chose is 915, I think. Yes, 915. DMC 915. The reason I chose that is because in Peter Capaldi's, in the promo shots for Peter Capaldi's last season as the Doctor, there was one set of photos where he had this velvet maroon jacket on, blazer, jacket, whatever. And I picked a color from DMC that was very similar to the color of that jacket. So this, basically this WIP is Peter Capaldi's last season as the Doctor. So, I'm still probably going to stitch the sunglasses and the words 12th Doctor at the bottom. I'm probably still going to stitch those in black, I think. I haven't decided yet. Because they are charted for like a different color, but I don't know what color I'm going to stitch them in. Probably black. Then the next one, I actually, this next one was actually patterned, the reason why I got both of these patterns, from the same shop. This is the War Doctor, also by Lolita May. She has several more of these different Doctors. She doesn't have like all 13 Doctors, but she does have quite a few of them. So there's that one. I actually got this one in the 12th Doctor because when John Hurt passed away, I wanted something to stitch to honor him. And I liked this one, but at the same time I wasn't sure what other one I wanted to get. But I had seen them prior to him passing away, but then when he passed away, I knew I wanted to go back and get that one, and I wasn't entirely sure about which other one I wanted to get, and I decided on the 12th Doctor. This one is being done on another Under the Sea Fabrics, 32 counts, Lugana. This one is called Khaleesi. It's like really pretty pinks and yellows and peaches. It's being stitched on Khaleesi because this color kind of looks a little bit like fire. War Doctor, War, Fire, that kind of thing. And then I'm stitching him in what would be the DMC equivalent of the actual Pantone color that the TARDIS is in, which is 920, I think. Like, I used to remember all this, but I forget. 796, sorry. So this is, technically this is TARDIS blue. So, and then I have the British Time Lord Needleminder from No Name Needleminders. That was actually one of my first orders from her, I think. Oh, and then my other one, it has a Needleminder that I won, technically. It's a cabochon, and it says, keep calm and basically run. And then finally, in this part of this tote is Think of Me by Alessandra Adelaide. And I found a similar color fabric and similar color fancy floss. Because it only calls for DMC. But I happened to have some silks that were similar in color. So this is where it sits at now. Really pretty bluish color. I never noticed it had that long strip of the white modeling right down there. I never noticed that until just now. But this is where it sits at now. Just a little bit from the center, that's it. And I got this from a Stitchy box. It is Summer Sky by Fiberlicious. A pretty blue color. And then I have like a ice cream sundae needle minder, which I think came from No Name Needle Minders. We're getting there, you guys. So that was all the year of WIPs. Now we get into the rest of my WIPs, which I'm going to try to work on in May. First we have Fireside Originals Steampunk Luna Moth. And those chains that you see, that's actual metal chainware. There's the chains. There's like a little moon-shaped charm thing up there. So there's that. And this is being done. Crap, I just remembered something. Guess I'll have to find it later. Well, I have it down here, but whenever I get to the pattern, whichever pattern I fell out of, I'm gonna have to put it back. This is being stitched on Under the Sea Fabrics Iris in 32 count Belfast. Right? Yeah, 32 count Belfast in Iris. And that's all I got done. The body and part of one side of the top color of the one wing. And then I have Meat Group needle minder. That's from that same set that the Betty Nugs one came out of. Did I mention what movie that was when I showed the other one? If I forgot to tell you what the movie was that came out of, it's one of my favorite movies called Encino Man. It has Brendan Fraser, Sean Astin, and unfortunately Pauly Shore. Rose McGowan was one of her early roles, so she has a little bit part in it, not very big. Robin Tooney, who was in The Craft, and I think she was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, or was it Scream? I think it was she was in Scream. Anyway, it was the early role for a lot of bigger actors. Next we have Fracture Flowers by Lottie Daw. And I found a fabric similar to what it calls for, or what the model stitched is. Believe it or not, it's actually calling for Wren by Picture This Plus, which is a tan fabric, but that looks gray to me. Does that look gray to anybody else? But maybe that's just me. It looks gray. But either way, I am stitching this on. It's called Stormy Night, I think, by Zweigart. And that's where it's at right now. So, decent amount done. Still only partway there, though. I could probably get this done. And then I have another little Fractal Flowers needle minder. So this is cut, and this is cut to size, so it's not going to be very big. I don't always cut my fabrics to size. When I do, it's just mostly to save room. Next, it's in my Also Fancy Ziploc bag. It's a Jan Lin. It's one of those ones that's just a chart. This is Four Seasons Chairs is the name of the pattern. And I am actually stitching this one down here in the bottom corner, which is the fall chair. And I got one upright, which is the one that's like not covered up. The one upright, and then a little bit of that that bar that goes between the bars on the, you know what I mean. The one little piece on the back of the chair. Y'all get it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is on another fabric that I got from Stitchy Box. It's called Moon Glow by Picture This Plus. 28 count cashel linen. That's all she wrote. That's all she got on that one. And then for some reason I have my Blanche Devereaux. It's a very yellow fabric. Fun fact for y'all. I'm not crazy about the color yellow. I'm really not. Don't ask me how I keep doing so much on yellow. The next one we have is a freebie. I believe it's still available. It's called Dutch Tulip. This is the actual pattern, so I'm holding it way back here. It was a freebie. I downloaded it off their blog. It's from Threadworks Primitives. This is called Dutch Tulip. And when I had started this, I got a decent amount of progress on it. That day, like I had the entire day to work on it. This is where it sits at right now. This is just an MCG Textiles. It's that antique white even weave, and I had thrown some other dye on there. So it's kind of a mottled, toasted look. So that's where it sits at right now. There's not much left to do on it, actually. And I am stitching this with the Call for Fancy Floss. And then just a cute little wooden button fan. I'm getting so tired. I can tell it's getting late because I'm getting tired. I don't have much left to do, though. I don't have much left to show you guys. This may just turn into a 3-hour video. Whoops. Next is kind of a finish, but it's kind of a whip too. The only thing I have shown here is a finish, but this is, it's an Advent. It's the Brooks Books Advent Animals. But I'm doing them all on one piece of fabric. I only have the first one on here so far, so technically this is still a whip. But I intend to keep working on it and start on the second one. And then I have it's like snowflake. There's snowflakes in there. I don't know if you can see it. But there's snowflakes in there. And this is just a ice blue Lugana. No, ice blue Jobelin. Sorry, this is a Jobelin. Very pale blue. You ever notice that like Christmas and winter stuff, they seem to go really good on like these really pale blue fabrics? Next we have, it's called Vintage Glassware. And it is out of the April 2017 edition of Just Cross Stitch. The good thing about the digital subscription to Just Cross Stitch is that you only have to print out the page numbers that you want for whatever pattern that you're wanting to stitch. This is where this one sits at right now. Kind of like it back up here. That's all. That's like the glass. That's in that middle glass, obviously. And this is the 28 count Lugana in Dreamsicle by Under the Sea Fabrics. And then I have like my little ice cream malt shop needle minder. That was one of those needle minders that fit really well with the pattern. It doesn't always happen, but it happens occasionally. Next is a really back. It is Heartstring Samplery. His Eye is on the Sparrow. And I've actually worked on this a little bit since after I started it. Not a whole lot, because I only started it back in May this year. Well, technically back in May of 2018. And this is on a 40 count Mellow by Picture This Plus. And that's where it sits at right now. Hold it back here. Now I can get you a little bit closer. That's where it sits at right now. That's how much I've got done. Not a whole ton of a lot. I still got a long way to go. And then there's a stained glass stove. There. And this is being stitched with the called for fancy floss. Not silks, but it's like classic colorworks and gaps and stuff like that. It is being stitched in the called for floss. This section I have to keep in order. It may not necessarily be alphabetical order, but I have to keep it in the order that I have it in. Next was a start from 2017, which is Spirit Dancer by Butternut Road. And this is on Picture This Plus Ren. This is what the Fracture Birds called for. It's a very nice neutral tan color. That was my needle minder. It keeps wanting to fall off. That's where she's at right now. Just a bit of her dress down by her legs. That's it. Just all white, and then there's some off-white in there. That's it. Hold on. Hold, please, while I retrieve my needle minder. it's a very heavy magnet. It wasn't intended to be a needle minder, but it was actually a fridge magnet that I purchased from a rest area gas convenience store type thing, one of them rest stops, travel centers. That's what I'm trying to think of. I got it from a travel center back a couple years ago. This one, and there's an elephant one that I got too. They were just fridge magnets that I put a second magnet with, and I'm using them as needle minders. But they're very heavy. The next one is one that is a lot of fun to work on, and it's really easy actually. It's the ink circles. It's the Roll Your Own Mandala. This is the set 5 pack. And I'm doing one of this top design, but I'm doing it in my own colors. And I am using CXC floss for this, not DMC, but I'm using CXC, which is the Chinese floss. It's really nice to work with. It's actually kind of pretty fluffy and thick, like, you know, DMC used to be. So this is where it sits at right now. I have a lot of the black outlining done. I wanted to start filling in, but I ran out of time to work on it in my rotation before I could get too far. So, and then sparkly needle minder. This is Under the Sea Fabrics 16 count Aida in Naiad. Right there, that's a bit better. This is actually, it's more blue than it's coming up. It's more blue. Like it keeps wanting to think it's green. About like that, maybe. Yeah. Can you tell I'm getting tired? I feel like I'm getting quiet. But I don't have too much left to go. I'm almost done. Well, I mean, I have a few more left, but I'm getting there. Next we have the Walk Fast Sampler by Lindy Stitches. This is like a Golden Girls pattern. And she has another one in her shop, but I'm gonna wait until I finish this one before I get it. I mean, a person only needs one Golden Girls quote. I mean, that's the bare minimum. Everything else is just gravy. This is being done on a 16 count Aida in Legacy by Picture This Plus, which has this really kind of greenish tan color. That's where it sits at right now. The leash and the fish's head. And then, of course, I have the Rose Nyland needle minder on there from the Everyday Stitcher. I'm really enjoying going back to 16 count Aida. I mean, I'm always going to work on other stuff too, but for me, I find more enjoyment and fun in the project by working it on Aida. It's like projects that if I try to do it on something else, then I'm not going to have as much enjoyment out of. I don't know, it's hard to describe. But like, I'm not going to still be a solely only Aida person, at least not right now. Not until my eyes start giving out. But if my eyes are strong enough to work on 40 count with cheaters, then I'll keep working on it. This one it's a free design that I got with a delivery with a package. So I can't show you the design because that's all it is the pattern. And this is where it sits at right now. There's another leaf over here, and then there's acorns coming off of this. So there's not a whole lot left, but a little bit. This is just on a random piece of fabric that I've got I don't know, from a stash unloader somewhere. Just, I call this fabric of unknown origin. Mystery fabric of unknown origin. But like I said, there's not much left to do on that. I'll probably, when I pick this up on its day in May, I'll probably finish it. So, next we have, it's another project that I'm doing multiple pattern leaflets on one fabric. It is the hands-on design series, Cool Bean series. We have Cuppa Cuppa, which is the one I'm working on. My cups runneth over. Sorry, I can't read backwards. Coffee and Friends. Sorry, I'm trying to read these backwards, but I can't. 7 a.m. somewhere. Brew it. There's 9 of these total, by the way. This is Go Your Own Way. Come off of there. And then a whole latte love. And then a hug in a cup. And then we come back to Rise and Grind. And I think that's the last one. Yep. So this is the one I'm still working on. There is a border that you can get for free from their blog if you wish to do this all on one piece of fabric, which I am doing. And this is a 16 count Picture This Plus in Murmur, which is a nice peachy color, really pale, slightly delicately modeled peachy color. And this is where it sits at right now. And this is that border that I was talking about. There's 3 rows of 3. So, and then my Rip Hunter needle minder, just because I wanted to look at him. AKA Arthur Darvill, AKA Rory Williams, AKA Father something or other on Broadchurch. I always forget what his name was on that show. I knew he was the priest. I always forget what his name was on that show. And that needle minder is from the Everyday Stitcher. I know it's late. I do. Only a few more to go. And then we have probably one of my most beautiful patterns, Mirabilia, Aphrodite Mermaid. I never pictured myself starting this one. For one, I've never been, I know, right? I was never one to really get all that into Mirabilias, especially their mermaids and their fairies and stuff. I'm not like a real big fantasy person. And I had seen this one from other people before, but not like it was the first time I had seen it. And so, for some reason, I saw this fabric come out from Fabric Flare when they posted it on their Facebook page, and immediately thought of this pattern. I was like, I love that fabric. It's perfect. And it's perfect for specifically Aphrodite Mermaid. How perfect is that? Now that's just her fin. Like, the shell is going to be way kind of down here. The shell is going to be like down here. So, this is perfect. This is a 32 count, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is a 32 count. It's called Grace's Ocean. So, that's gorgeous to me. Like, I saw this fabric, and I was like, you know what needs to go on that fabric? Aphrodite's mermaid. And she is a beautiful mermaid, by the way. So, and then I have kind of a artistic aerial needle minder there from No Name Needle Minders. Truth be told, I had actually, I know, it is beautiful. Truth be told, I had actually, something in me started thinking about this pattern, and how I started liking it. Oops. No, you are not gonna fall. I'm like losing floss and stuff, and I hate that. You don't even go with that. I know where you go. I need to put you back with your pattern, because every time I pull something out, something falls out. But I had started thinking about this pattern and how much I had started liking it. And then Fabric Flare showed that fabric, and I was just like, it's a sign, like I need to do it. And I have the complete kit for her. Right. Of course, this one doesn't want to close. Anyway, I have the complete kit for her. I had the bead pack for it. Okay. Next, we have one that I just worked on recently, which is Southern Social by Dimensions Gold. And this is one of those other kits that I bought off of Listy, or no, I think I bought it off of eBay, I think. But you can tell it's the older version of the kit because it came in the bag like they used to do, which I wish they still did. Because it's so much, it makes it so much easier. Like, you can actually just put the stuff back in. The packs that they come in now, those plastic things that they come in now, you can't fit all that stuff back in there. You just can't. So, there's that. And I just showed this recently, like I said, so, and there's not a whole lot of progress on this. I'm just using the kit floss and kit fabric, you know, how one does. And that's where it's at so far, with the lady in the doorway, and there's windows out beside of her. And then that underneath there at the bottom, that's where the front door is. So, and then I have my Scarlett O'Hara needle minder from the Everyday Stitcher. And I think that's an 18 count, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's not 14 count. Getting down to the end. And then this one, I started it, but I think I started it in the wrong place, so I'm going to have to rip it out and redo it. And this is the Susanna Rambo 1836 sampler. This was done in 3 parts in 3 different issues of just cross stitch, starting with part 1, which is this quote in the box right here. This part 1 started in the February 2017 edition. And I'm just doing this on an 28 count MCG antique white even weave. This is where it sits at now, but like I said, I think I started it in the wrong place. I think I started it too high. So I'm going to have to go back and recheck and probably restart it. So that's what's done on it so far. That's it. Just kind of an oatmeal-y even weave. And a little wooden fox button needle minder, which I actually put together myself. I didn't buy that. I put it together myself. Well, I mean, I bought the pack of buttons. And then I bought a whole bunch of magnets, which I still have. And glued them together. That is going to be my start in there. Y'all don't get to see that. Y'all saw that in my 2019 plan. You don't get to see it again. And then we have come to the very last WIP. The very last WIP in my bin. And it's a piece that it's a project that I'm doing for my son, so I really kind of don't want to take too long to do it. It is Mini Simply Meant to Be. The artist is Cherie Gerhardt, charted by Hayde. My son loves The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's one of his favorite movies. So, I'm doing that for him. Started this in June, I think. Because his birthday's in June. Just a 25 count gridded even weave. 1/1 full cross. That's where it sits at right now. Yes, I'm trying to do the diagonal. That's it. That's all I've done. That's actually a lot of like a bluish gray color, a very dark bluish gray color. It's a lot of that. You can see that better now. And then I had started on this diagonal right here. So, and then I have 2 needle minders on here. I have Demon's Run, When a Good Man Goes to War. And I have my Crowley needle minder. Both of those from the Everyday Stitcher. So, and for this one, I actually had Jessie Marie kitted up. There's 3 of these rings like this. She works out everything with you whenever you want to order from her. You send her basically like the floss page of list of whatever you're kitting up. She can do it different ways. She can do these floss bags. She can do bobbins. She can do bobbins on the ring. If you do floss bags, she can do them like this, where the number is going, you know, upwards like this. Like this is how that's how I did mine. The numbers are like that. Or you can do it whether upways like this, or sideways, one way this way, or sideways that way. You can work out however you want to do it on that. She does kit these up like this one. It tells you what numbers are in this particular ring. This Jessie Marie, it's the Storyteller Collection, is her business. So this being a Hayde, there was like 80 something colors, I think. So I have 3 of those rings. In this giant hefty bag. This is like the extra large size. This is hefty. I know I don't think they put the size. I think the size on the hefty one is like 2.5 gallons. But Glad has one too that I just found the other day, and theirs is a 2-gallon one. So depends on where you get them at. Organic Granny, yeah. If I'm being honest, no, I don't miss Georgia. I like being at home because I feel like more like I belong here, you know? Georgia I was out on my own, and I just felt like I didn't fit in there. I know it's hard to describe. But I'm back home in North Carolina, on the South Carolina border. And I'm happy to be back. I don't know if I would ever move back to Georgia. But, hold on. I gotta find where this went to. I think I know where it went to. Fair enough, I know. But I guess if you grew up in Georgia, that would be your home, so you'd probably enjoy being there. I was in kind of a rough area of Georgia. So it wasn't as nice and picturesque and, you know, southern belle as maybe other parts of it. I was in pretty rough area. With the whole city has a pretty high crime rate, if I'm being honest. So, but yeah, I feel a lot better being back home. But I do miss my stitchers in Georgia, and I hate that there are some certain people like you, Lori, that I never got to meet. Maybe one of these days at a stitching retreat, I'll get to meet one of you guys. I'm going to my first stitching retreat at Sevierville this year. Can't wait for that. But that is going to be my WIP updates. Can I carry this out another 3 minutes? I don't know. I probably shouldn't. It's going to be close to 3 hours, you guys. If I started this at 7:30 and I've been going for 3 hours, does that mean it's 10:30 now? I don't even know what the time is. It's probably about 10:30, yeah. Or after 10:30, really. So anyway, I guess that's all my WIPs. Great, one of Katrina's retreats. Yes, it's one of Katrina's retreats. I am going to the Sevierville, Tennessee one. Don't quote me. I think it's one in May, isn't it? I don't remember. But I know I signed up for it. I paid my money for my spot. And I will worry about getting the hotel later. I'm definitely going to try to stay at the hotel. Because I don't know Sevierville. I don't know where anything is. And since I'll probably be going there by myself, I'm probably just going to stick close to the hotel. I'm a homebody anyway. Probably I may only venture out to whatever's close by. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I can't wait to meet everybody. It's going to be my first retreat. But, yeah, I'll talk about that more in my next update. You must go to Dixie Darling. Yes, I plan on going to Dixie Darling. I've heard so much about that place. Especially from, Dina, who loves talking about it. And she's a great woman. She's actually one of my stitching friends. So I'm really hoping she gets to go so I can see her again. Because we used to meet up in Georgia. Every so often at the library down there. But yeah, I'll talk about that later. I'll mention a little bit more about it. Yes, she does. She's one of my favorite people too. But yeah, I'll talk about more of that. I'll talk about that more. You can tell I'm getting tired. I'm forgetting how to talk. I'll kind of go into that a little bit more whenever I do my next update. Hopefully, in the next week or two. It won't be too much longer, I promise. I won't keep y'all waiting too long. I do want to finish out my my 12 days of starts before I do my next update, so I can at least show you those. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'm waiting for this thing to hit 3 hours so I can have an official 3-hour long video. Can I hit it to where it's actually like right at 3 hours? Okay, so that's it for me today, guys. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Have a great one. Love y'all. Dang it. Let me figure out how to get this thing stopped. Bye. Bye, Lori. Bye, everybody.